Hey, Tommy here, and we are reading The Magic Ladder to Success by Napoleon Hill. And I got my hood on because it's a little chilly in here right now. And I wanted to record this right now. So, if you have, read from the beginning, I've got videos from the first parts of this book, but basically it's the first book Napoleon Hill wrote. And also, what he recommends is when you get into this, have a pen and paper ready or pencil and paper ready. And since we're reading this, pause it if a good idea comes to mind. Because that's the point. You want to write down these good ideas. In fact, the last paragraph of this book, he actually says, um, that it's all about creating better thought impulses in your mind to help you, move forward. Basically, escalate your thinking, envision new projects, and that's the whole point of this. And me here in the past, and you there in the future, I am intending and setting this intention for you and me to, receive great, epiphonic ideas to move us forward in our projects. And dialogue with me. Love to hear your opinions on these things. And when we're done, go to the next one. And if you haven't started, start from the beginning. So, lesson 9, the habit of doing more than paid for pays off. Makes sense. This law is a stumbling block on which many a promising career has been shattered. There is a general inclination among people to perform just as little service as they can get by with. But if you will study these people carefully, you will observe that while they may be actually getting by temporarily, they are not, however, getting anything else. There are two major reasons why all successful people must practice this law as follows. 1. Just as an arm or a limb of the body grows strong in exact proportion to its use, so does the mind grow strong through use. By rendering the greatest possible amount of service, the faculties through which the service is rendered are put into use and eventually become strong and accurate. By rendering more service than that for which you are paid, you will be turning the spotlight of favorable attention upon yourself, and it will not be long before you will be sought with impressive offers for your services, and there will be a continuous market for those services. Makes sense? Do the thing and you shall have the power, was the admonition of Emerson, to this day our greatest philosopher. That is literally true. Practice makes perfect. The better you do your work, the more adept you will become at doing it, and this, in time, will lead to such perfection that you will have but few, if any, equals in your field of endeavor. By rendering more service and better service than that for which you are paid, you thereby take advantage of the law of increasing returns through the operation of which you will eventually be paid in one way or another for far more service than you actually perform. I find oftentimes everything's related to money in this book and, Think and Grow Rich and things like that. And yes, awesome. Like that's pretty much the point. We use, money as our main means of exchange, right? But um, I use these things for other means as well. And it's really just, you create the idea and those events will come to you as long as you truly envision them and then keep, escalating your thinking to figure out how is that possible. You got to basically what it comes down to, envision what you actually want and ask the right questions, ask the right questions, which is pretty much how am I going to get there? What will I do next? But really the only thing before that, which I think a lot of these lessons teach you to get there, are things like attention, stillness, concentration. Like these skills are the ones that then will, get you deeper inside and be like, what do I really want? And I guess that's why a lot of times the focus here is money, because usually we're just in a rut. We're like, man, if I just had 100K more, I'd be fine. Or like, if I was just earning an extra $1,000 a week, this would be great. Or, if I could just make an extra $100 a day, like whatever it is, I don't know. I feel like a lot of times people, you know, balance their troubles with, the opposing being money because, it's our means of exchange. So if all we have is time and money, if all we have or time equals money, right? Let's say it that way. Um, so if you have enough money, you can, take care of that time. Um, overlay it, right? So basically, if you want more time, you can oftentimes get it by just spending more money. But beyond that, time being the most valuable resource, the one before that is truly attention. And what you pay your attention on is what expands what you're paying on, right? Which oftentimes, with things like meditation, breath work, and, just concentration exercises, you can expand time in your life because you'll be thinking better, you will finish tasks quicker, you will come up with better ideas. So ultimately, yes, the most valuable resource beyond time or beyond money is time, but ultimately you can expand and create more time. You will narrow time frames if you create focused attention because you'll just create your solutions more rapidly. And really that's what it is, right? You're just trying to enjoy life, and ways to enjoy life are created by you just solving your issues or making things better, right? Fixing problems. Different ways of saying the same stuff. Let's finish this chapter. The habit of doing more than paid for pays off. This is no mere inventive theory, right? This is no mere inventive theory. This one, the habit of doing more than paid for, because it pays off. It actually works out in the most practical tests. You must not imagine, however, that the law always works instantaneously. Accurate thinking. You may render more service and better service than you are supposed to render for a few days, then discontinue the practice and go back to the old, usual habit of doing as little as can be safely trusted to get you by, and the results will in no way benefit you. But if you do adopt the habit as a part of your life's philosophy, and let it become known by all who know you that you render such service out of choice, not as a matter of accident, but by deliberate intent, you will soon see keen competition for your service. You'll observe that it's not easy to find very many people rendering such service, which is all the better for you, because you will stand out in a bold contrast with practically all others who are engaged in work similar to yours. Contrast is a powerful law, and you may in this manner profit by contrast. Just quickly, it's true. Like the more work you do, you know, the habit of doing more than you're paid for. Like if you get paid for something, then you're actually doing more. Most of my first jobs out of college was just because someone was recommending that, like, hey, you got to check out this guy, or like there was some work coming by. They sent it my way first, and if my schedule was available, I took it because I would just try to always be wholly present in the moment and realize that it's not just doing that one task, but just trying to get to the bottom of that. What's that real thing we're trying to get? And just create a nice experience wholly for myself, for the coworkers, for the company. Some people set up the. Let me read that again. All right, I'll read the previous paragraph because you'll observe that it's not easy to find very many people rendering such service, more than paid for, which is all the better for you because you will stand out in bold contrast with practically all others who are engaged in work similar to yours. It's accurate. Contrast is a powerful law, and you may, in this manner, profit by contrast. Just do a little bit more, people will notice you more. Your contrast, like the contrast in the photo, right? Like you adjust it, you'll be brighter contrast. Some people set up the weak but popular argument that it does not pay to render more service and better service than one is paid for because it is not appreciated. They add that they work for people who are selfish and will not recognize such service. Splendid! The more selfish an employer is, the more he or she will be inclined to continue to employ a person who makes a point of rendering such service. unusual both in quantity and quality. This very selfishness will impel such an employer to recognize such services. If, however, the employer should happen to be the proverbial exception, one who has not sufficient vision to analyze employees, then it is only a matter of time until all who render such service will attract the attention of other employees who will gladly reward them. Again, accurate. Careful study of the lives of successful men has shown that has shown that Careful study of the lives of successful men has shown that faithfully practicing this one law alone has brought the compensations with which success is usually measured. If the author of this philosophy had to choose one of the 17 laws of success as being the most important and had to discard all the others except the one chosen, he would without a moment's hesitation choose this law of rendering more service and better service than paid for. That's that. I'll tell you, I think my favorite thing about Napoleon Hill is that he always says, "This is the best thing. That other thing was the best thing, but this is really the best thing." And it's kind of true because that's what we're reading now. The present moment truly is, the main place to focus. Like it kind of makes sense. Do more than you're paid for. And how can you do that? Be more wholly present in the moment and give all your attention to what you're doing. And that might be difficult at times because we are supposed to focus on, future goals a bit as well, or, in today's day and age with different responses, like if you got several apps and you're supposed to be responding to things, I get it. But ultimately, try to be more wholly present in asking the right questions for what the main solution you're trying to arrive at as soon as possible. And focus on that, doing more in that. So no one's paying you, just do your work even more. Not even harder, but just more fully focused. And to the point where if you do things like concentration exercises, and you'll notice that your intuition and your reasoning mind will start working more accurately. And yeah, you'll just start doing better. Like I said, this was Magic Ladder to Success by Napoleon Hill, but also, like I said, all my first jobs were just like, oh, you gotta meet this guy. Oh, by the way, we got some work. Are you free? And it was all because I was always wholly there. Like, I enjoyed my job. I was just having a good time in my job and just seeing, if I'm getting paid for this, what else can I do? It was like, oh, I'm tired. I'm working hard. Great. That's great. Find a different job. Because if you can't wholly be doing that work as much as you can, dude, you should find another job. If you're looking for work, connect with us. We got a great program we're doing. Also, check out our daily doses of thanks. That's what I'm recording next. We got playlists of both. Link down below. Check out my playlist. I appreciate you. Go to the next chapter, the next lesson. Go to the beginning if you haven't gotten this before. The whole intention here is for you in your future and me in my past to connect in the present mastermind where we are receiving more escalated, more elevated thought impulses that will create better ways for us to solve the things that we are trying to get through right now. Peace.